Hello everyone. In this video, I will talk about your assessment item 2, which is a group-led presentation and written essay. So this assessment accounts for 30% of your final grade for this unit. It must be completed by student as a group. This assessment consists of two parts, an essay addressing your chosen topic and an in-class presentation. Each one of the components takes up 15%. So the due date in week 11 are Moodle, which is 30th of September by 11:59 a.m. AEST time. So naturally, you'll do your presentation either in lectures or tutorials subject to the arrangement by your on-campus tutor. The distance students ought to submit your essay and pre-recorded video link on Moodle by the due date. And if any of you prefer to do a real life session via Zoom, you also have that option. So the essay ought to be 2,000 words. You can go above or below 10% in length. The format and the layout are the same as in assessment 1. It should be 1.5 line spacing, 12 size font times New Roman. You need to attach assessment cover page, which include the student names, student ID, your group ID, your resident campus, the assessment title, and your tutor. And the presentation is 20 minutes long, followed by 5 minutes of question and answer from the audience. So the aims of this assignment is to develop your knowledge of contextual factors and ability to develop this knowledge with others. The objective is to develop your research, cognitive, creative, communication, professional responsibility, as well as self-management skills within the context of a group assignment. It also provides you with the opportunity to develop your leadership skills as a member of a group. Please be aware that penalties for late submission are applied according to the university policy. That is 5% of the total marks for this assessment, deducted for every day the assignment is late. Weekend counts as 2 days. So the task description, basically, you have been given 4 topics. So your group needs to choose one out of these 4 topics. You need to do this in consultation with your tutor to make sure all 4 topics are covered in your workshop. Okay? And when you're addressing your chosen or given topic, you must include real-life corporate examples in your research efforts. And only one member of your group needs to upload the files on Moodle by the due date. Okay. Also, if you take a look, these 4 given topics, I have underlined the relevant contextual factors, which means if you were, for example, if you were to choose week 6, your answers need to address the relevant contextual factors in that week's topic, such as what is meant by sustaining innovation, what is meant by disruptive innovation. Okay, so you need to explain these theories or concepts first before you address the topic. And then another part of the topic is about providing creative solutions. So no matter what you do, make sure you address the topic as a whole. You can't just address one part of the topic without addressing the other one. Okay? So as for group formation, I have set up the group enrollment link on Moodle. What you need to do is attend the tutorial. Your on-campus tutor is going to organize you guys into groups of 5 students. Okay. Afterwards, your on-campus tutor is going to give you a group ID. Remember that ID. Afterwards, you need to go to the Unit Moodle page under Assessment Information. Okay. So you need to go to Assessment Information, and then under Assessment 2 Group Work, you'll find this link, which is called Assessment Item 2 Group-Led Presentation and Discussion. And then you need to click on it, which takes you to the list of group IDs. For example, if you are, let's say, if your group ID is number 13, double check to make sure it reflects the tutorial that you are enrolled in, and then make your choice, then scroll down and click Save My Choice. Then afterwards, you would be enrolled into a group on Moodle. So the time period given for you guys to enroll yourself is limited. There will be no more changes made to the groups after Friday, August the 16th. So please make sure you have sorted yourself out by August the 6th. Okay? So lectures and tutorial classes can only be changed with the permission of the Student Administration Office and the unit coordinator after August the 6th. No adjustments to presentation groups will be made after the 16th of August. All right? So the presentation requirements. As a group, you are to develop a 20-minute PowerPoint presentation in class. I'd like to draw your attention to this next rule. Every member of the group must speak during the presentation. You can't claim that you have done more research, therefore you are going to not speak during the presentation. That's not allowed. You need to be contributing equally to the research component of the presentation as well as the delivery component of the presentation. Otherwise, you risk forfeiting half of the 15% of your assessment too. Okay, so the presentation must include information from at least 8 academic journals and at least 1 real-life corporate examples. Okay, so I didn't really specify which year of the journal articles, so I'll leave that to your group's discretion. Preferably, you would want to be using journal articles that is more recent because that's more relevant. All right. So your presentation must address your chosen topic effectively. Remember, there are 2 parts to every topic. Make sure you address the topic thoroughly. How do you do that? You need to incorporate definition of the key contextual factors, which I've underlined in the topic. You also need to explain the relevant concepts and theories, and then in response to the topic, you need to develop clear and compelling arguments, which are backed up by academic references, as well as real-life corporate examples. Okay? Also, the presentation needs to demonstrate your critical understanding of the problems associated with the relevant contextual factor. By contextual factor, I meant like in week 6, it should be innovation. Week 7 is knowledge management and e-commerce. Okay. Also, the presentation needs to demonstrate your ability to evaluate complex problems as well as provide creative solutions. Okay. So these 2 are really key. So in class, before your presentation, you need to give your tutor a copy of your PowerPoint presentation. Before the presentation, make sure that you have submit the e-version of your PowerPoint on Moodle. After you finish the presentation, you'll have 5 minutes of Q&A session to interact with the audience. Okay, now we move on to the second component of the assessment, which is a 2,000-word essay. So this essay is closely aligned with your presentation. The format and layout, as I've pointed out, need to be in professional manner, which is the same as assessment 1. And every member of your group needs to contribute to this essay equally. And similar to the presentation, it needs to have at least 8 academic journal articles, at least 1 real-life corporate example. Okay, and be aware, this is only the minimum requirement for you to get a pass. If you are aiming for higher grade, like D or HD, the requirements would be higher accordingly, and we will address this in the marking rubric breakdown. Okay, so I've talked about this. I've also talked about this, and as well as this. Okay, we will talk about marking criteria in a second. Okay, so professional presentation. I've talked about the fact that every member of your group needs to present, and please dress professionally to show that you are taking this assignment seriously. Also, you need to show your passion, connect with your audience, focus on audience needs. What do they want from the presentation? Don't just dump text on the slides. That would overwhelm the audience. Okay, make sure whatever you put on the slides, it should be core messages. During delivery, make sure you smile and make eye contact with the audience, and you start strongly, grab the audience attention. Try to cut the number of your slides to the minimum, and use not less than size 30 font. And then if you follow this link, you would be able to find more tips for presentation. Once again, plagiarism, I can't emphasize this enough times. Make sure you don't cut and paste without acknowledging the sources and without paraphrasing. Okay. Uploading your assignment, make sure only 1 member of your group needs to do this, and you need to upload at least 2 files, your presentation PowerPoint slides plus your essay, and make sure you upload the right assignment. If you upload assignments which were developed for different unit, you wouldn't get a second chance to upload. Or if you've received a high Turnitin score and you want to make revision, but it's too late, well, too bad. Okay, so just double check to make sure. Then similarly as assessment 1, if you have really legitimate reasons for academic extension, you need to apply this way ahead of time, preferably 5 days in advance. Do this via the academic extension link on Moodle. And late submission is penalized by 5% a day. As well as for feedback, you would be accessing it in the same way as in assessment 1. And again, if you have questions, make sure you look for the answers in these PowerPoint slides on the marking rubric. If you are unable to find the answers in these documents, then feel free to raise the question to your tutor or to the unit coordinator. All right, so this is the first piece of document that's developed and supplied to you on Moodle. Next, I want to go over the marking rubric for this assessment as well. Okay, so the marking rubric. Okay, so for assessment 2, remember the marking criteria is 7 criteria. The first one tests your group's theoretical knowledge, whether your presentation and your essay have demonstrated ability to define key terms and utilize the theories and concepts relevant to the topic. For example, if your topic is week 6, which is on innovation, here this criteria tests whether you have understand the relevant concepts on innovation. Okay, and then criteria number 2 is your ability to evaluate a complex problem associated with the relevant contextual factor. Okay, and the pass is a sound critical understanding of the problems. If you are aiming for higher, accordingly, you need to demonstrate a superior critical understanding of the problems associated with the relevant contextual factor, not only in the presentation, but also in the essay. All right. And then the third criteria is your ability to provide creative solutions. Okay. And this solution has to be corresponding to the challenges posed by the relevant contextual factor. Okay, so you always have to link it back to the contextual factor. Then criteria number 4 is about your research efforts. Okay, this would be demonstrated by the key points your group can develop in response to the chosen topic. And these key points need to be grounded in a wide breadth and quality of research by using a minimum of 8 academic reference. Okay. So if you are aiming for HD in this category, you need to develop more than 3 exceptionally strong and compelling major points, well grounded in a wide breadth and quality of research by using a minimum of 15 to 17 academic sources. Okay, so it's not easy to get a HD. A lot of research efforts need to take place. But given that you have at least 5 members in the group, this is doable. Okay, so criteria number 5 is about corporate examples. This is actually an extension of criteria number 4. When you develop a strong point in response to your chosen topic, you not only need to give a reason, sometimes you need to back it up with a real-life corporate example. So this is what criteria number 5 is about. So in order to get P, you need to at least incorporate one real-life corporate example. And this analysis of the example needs to contribute to the argument you are making, and it needs to be addressing the topic effectively. If you are aiming for a higher mark, you need to incorporate 2 or more real-life corporate examples with credible references, with concise summary, as well as coupled with exceptional analysis of your example, which strengthens your argument, helps address the topic effectively. Okay? So that's criteria number 5. Next, we move to presentation. This is your ability to develop a concise and structured presentation to the required professional standard. Also, it tests your ability to address the Q&A session. So in order to get a P, you need to show satisfactory ability to develop a concise and structured presentation. And you need to handle the Q&A session well. Okay, the last, not the least, is the referencing. So both in your presentation and your essay, you need to be able to correctly use the API referencing systems to cite the academic sources correctly both in text and in the final reference list. Okay, so that is the marking rubric breakdown. That's all for assessment 2. Well, good luck. Thank you.